The index function that will work quite closely with the match function when we look at some working values will actually return you the value of a cell located at a given location. Obviously, we need to tell the index function where that location is. So we're going to use the sales 2013 file. Over to the right here, we're going to demonstrate how the index function can be of use to us. So the function is equals index, open brackets, and for once, a function actually has two sets of parameters. So we can either go with set A or set B. Now we'll see the difference in using B shortly, but if we're going to use set A, we need to give the function an array, so an area, a range, for it to look up in. If that area is a single column, so I'm going to actually select those cells there. So that's A1 to A6, comma, that's a single column. I can get away with just providing values for the row num. So if I choose 4, close brackets, press return, I get the word east. The reason for that is I've asked it to look in this array, which is A1 to A6, and give me the value that is in position number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It has nothing to do with the Excel row number 4, it's the 4th position in that particular array. Now, if we want to use the index function to pull out a value of an area, so both columns and rows, then we'll be using the optional parameter as well. So equals index, open brackets. This time my array is going to be the whole set of bananas. Now I actually have that as a named range called banana, and you can see it highlights the range. The row number is going to be 3, and the column number, which is optional, but in this case required because my range is more than one column wide, and let's go for column 7. Return, and I get the value 25. So that's the third row, 7th column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's the value that's returned, 25. So there's a very useful little function for picking out information from an array. Now, obviously the 3 and the 7 in this case could be generated dynamically or could be generated from another function, so a lookup of some kind. We don't have to be typing these values in. And if they change, the value changes. So 2 and 7 is now 45. So row 2 and 7, 45. Now the second use of the index, when we type index in, you saw we got two choices. Second choice here is a reference rather than an array. And what a reference is a group of arrays, so a group of ranges. And if we want to supply a group of ranges, we can put them in a set of brackets of their own. In this case, I'd like to make my reference, so my group of arrays, the 3 sets of sales numbers we have for banana, pear and apple. All 3 of them are named ranges, so I simply need to start typing them and I'll find them in the list. So that's banana, and then I put a comma and add the second, which is pear, and then choose that. And then the third range is apple, and choose that. So that's my 3 ranges that are going to form the reference. So I close the brackets for the reference, and then comma. Which row number am I interested in investigating the value of? Let's go for row 5. And which column number? Let's go for column 4. The area number we'll leave off at the moment. It is optional, but we'll see what that does shortly. So I'm looking in 3 arrays, 3 different ranges. I'm looking in row 5, column 4, and then return 17. So row 5 in the banana, column 4 is 17, but 5 and 4 in pears is 18, and 5 and 4 in apples is 63. The reason I get 17 is because in this function, I did not define a value for the area num, so it only looks in the first patch, the first array. If I want to pull the value from the second or the third, then I need to make use of that area num, and it's simply a numerical value, where banana is my first range, pear is my second, and apple is my third. So the order they're defined in here in the reference section is effectively the index number for the area number. So they become 1, 2, and 3. So if I want the value in the apple range, I put 3 and return, and then I get 63, which is looking at the apple range because it's the third array in my group, row 5, column 4, 63. So we can see the index function is extremely useful for plucking out values contained in arrays, whether that's a group of arrays as we have here, or a single array, or even a single column. The same function will pull that value out. All you need to know or calculate is the index location of the item you're trying to define.